P4 class, you are most welcome for this session once again. I would like to continue encouraging you. 1, to wash your hands or sanitize. 2, when you move with your mother to your friend's home for a visit, don't leave your mask like mine. Then another thing, avoid playing anyhow with other people in a crowd. Maybe if you have a mask. Let me remove my mask for you put on yours. Because for me, I'm going to remove because I'm going to talk to you so that you can get whatever I'm going to talk. Thank you very much. So our lesson today is going to be talking about ways of caring for crops in the garden that we talked last time. We're just going to add on, and that will be mulching and staking. But before we look at that, when I was leaving here, I left you with some work to do. Did you write? Did you answer very well? Then, if you did, you help me and go through with me, and we see where you might have gone wrong, and we correct ourselves. The first question that I asked you was, what is pruning? And you said, pruning is the removal of excess branches from a plant. Check if it is similar to mine. Put a tick there. 2, identify the garden tools used for pruning. And that is secateurs and the pruning saw. Why do farmers carry out pruning on their crops? I gave you many reasons, but you can write all of them there. But for me, mine that I have chosen, to reduce the weight of a plant. Remember what we said. Then another one, to increase on the crop yield of those crops that you have planted. Then the fourth question and the last one, identify any 2 ways of caring for crops in the garden. There are very many ways that we discussed, but what have you gone with? You might have chosen weeding and thinning. If you have others, you can also compare with what we discussed and you give it a tick. Let's go to today's lesson, and that will be staking. What do I expect from you in this lesson? 1, you'll explain the term staking. 2, you'll give the importance of staking. Then you will also define the term mulching. You will state the materials used for mulching, and you will mention the advantages and disadvantages of mulching the garden. Let's look at the first thing, that is staking. What does the term staking mean? I want you to think about. I told you when you are thinking, touch your head, close your eyes and meditate. Look at something. Think about what you have been asked. What is staking? What is staking? Yes. Compare your answer with mine. And we say, staking is the providing of extra support to plants with weak stems. Staking is the providing of extra support to plants with weak stems. And which plants have weak stems? We have some yams, we have some beans, we have passion fruits, and many other crops that need to stand upright. Like you have seen tomatoes here, they have been staked. Okay? Then let's look at the importance of staking. Why do farmers carry out staking? Why do you give those plants support? Why do you put something to support those plants? One of the reasons and the importance of staking, because you have those plants that creep on the soil, you have given them support. It eases weeding. It eases weeding. A farmer can easily weed where they have, in the place where that plant is. Another thing, it eases spraying. You can easily move through your garden when you have staked the crops very well. Then it makes harvesting easy. Let me show you. Now, for example, when the tomatoes have been staked the way you are seeing, what happens is that you can't bend to pick the what? To pick the fruits, but you can just stand. So when you stake the crops, it will ease harvesting, to make harvesting to be easily done. Then another thing is it gives, it enables plants to get enough sunlight. It enables plants to get enough sunlight. Can you go through together with me importance of staking? Repeat after me. It eases weeding. It also eases spraying. It makes harvesting easily done. It enables plants to get enough sunlight. Friends, those are the reasons or the importance why people carry out staking of their crops. Let's look at mulching. What does mulching mean? Mulching is the covering of topsoil with dry plant materials. What's mulching? Mulching is the covering of topsoil with dry plant materials. And the materials that we use for mulching are called mulches. They are called mulches. You'll get a question somewhere. What are mulches? Mulches are materials used for mulching. Now, that is a mulched garden. All those are mulched gardens. You can see they covered dry plant materials in someone's garden. Okay, so they put there the mulches. We shall see the reasons why they put the mulches. But before we move further. Let's look at the materials that are used for mulching. What are they? 1, dry elephant grass. Dry elephant grass. Dry maize stalks. Dry maize stalks. Those the stems. Those stems were when they are cut. When they cut the maize and they remove the maize cob, those stems that remain, they are the ones we are terming as dry maize stalks. Then dry grass straws. Dry grass straws. Those ones are used. Dry banana leaves and stems. Dry banana leaves and stems. Those stems of bananas, you cut them into different pieces and then you let them dry. The moment they dry, they are going to be used as mulches. Then we have dry maize cobs. Those cobs that were after removing the grains or the ones some people call seeds. When you remove them, when you remove the maize, what remains is called a maize cob. Now, something comes into your mind. Why are these things all the time called them dry? Why not wet? Why not raw? Why can't we use raw materials? Those materials that are still raw, that are not dry. Why do we use the dry ones only? The reason is those dry plant materials cannot germinate. They cannot germinate. Therefore, why do we use dry ones? to prevent them from growing into weeds. To prevent them from growing into weeds. So that's why these materials needed to be dry. Now, we have seen the examples of mulches that are used by farmers to mulch their gardens. Let's look at the importance or the advantages of mulching. What are those advantages of mulching? Why do farmers carry out mulching? And our activity says, mention the advantages and disadvantages of mulching. One, we are going to look at advantages. One, it controls soil erosion. Mulching controls soil erosion. Now, how do mulches control soil erosion? There are two ways. One, they reduce the speed of fast flowing water. They reduce on the speed of fast flowing water. Another thing is they prevent direct raindrops on the soil to cause splash erosion. When rain is coming from the sky, it blocks the mulches block the raindrops from reaching the soil directly. And another one, it improves on soil fertility. Mulching improves on soil fertility. How does mulching improve on soil fertility? One, when you put mulches in the garden, the mulches are going to rot. And when they rot, they will become humus. Now, when they become humus, the humus that has been formed will make the soil fertile. That is how mulching can improve on soil fertility. So whenever you see some things in your garden, the grass, the banana fibers, don't burn them. They are very important. You can use them as mulches. Then the second one, it keeps moisture in the soil. It keeps moisture in the soil. How do mulches keep moisture in the soil? Now, these farmers, during the dry season, when it is very dry, these farmers get the mulches, the dry plant materials, and they cover their gardens very well. Now, when they cover the gardens in the dry season, when the sunshine, when it shines, the sunshine cannot reach the soil. Because when it reaches the soil, it will make the little water that is in the soil to also evaporate. Therefore, how do they keep moisture in the soil? They prevent evaporation from taking place. What do? They prevent evaporation of water in the soil from taking place. That's how they keep the moisture in the soil. And by the way, keeping moisture, this point here, keeping moisture in the soil, is the major reason why farmers carry out mulching. The main reason why farmers carry out mulching is to keep water or moisture in the soil. Then we have, it helps to control the growth of weeds. It helps to control the growth of weeds. When you put mulches in the garden, they will suffocate. They will not have sunlight. They will not receive carbon dioxide. Therefore, they will just die inside there. So if you want to control weeds in the garden, mulching can also help you to carry out, to control the weeds in the garden. Let's look at the bad side of mulching. The bad side of mulching. How is it? Why can't people run for mulching? One, they can easily catch fire. Mulches can easily catch fire. Or we can call it, they are fire hazards. They are fire hazards. Another thing, they harbor pests. Or they are hiding places for pests. Some pests like caterpillars and some other small insects, they tend to hide inside the what? The mulches. And some dangerous animals like snakes. You might have gone to check on your garden, you are moving around, then you find a snake bites you. So some mulches are not good. Another one, some of them take long to rot. Some materials take long to decay or rot the soil. So it is some can grow into weeds. We have just been saying that it controls weeds. Mulching controls weeds. But you will find some that will fail to rot. And what will they do? It will just develop into what? Weeds when it rains. So I'm going to leave you with an activity that you are going to do. You know me, I always come and mark with a pen. So please endeavor to do the work, and when I come back, we shall go through together. Continue keeping safe at home.